Welcome to Concept with Justin. The sun leans low and warm across the patio, and when you step outside, the air feels softer, like someone turned down the world's volume. You inhale, and the smell of damp soil and green leaves greets you. Nothing fancy, just honest plant perfume. The patio is a small stage, not a lawny expanse, so someone has made clever decisions. Containers and repurposed tubs of all sizes sit grouped in friendly clusters, each one a little oasis. There are old galvanized wash tubs that hold citrus trees, a reclaimed wooden trough with a row of soft ferns, and a collection of enamel bowls filled with succulents and tiny stones. It's surprising how much life a handful of containers can bring. You wander the patio, barefoot on warm pavers, and notice the details. A large shipping tub, one meant for big jobs, has been turned into a centerpiece planter. Inside, a dwarf olive tree raises its silvery leaves, and beneath it, time spills like a soft carpet. Nearby, an old metal bucket acts as a rain catcher and is home to a dwarf citrus that smells like sunshine when you brush a leaf. Groupings are deliberate. Tall plants create privacy and shade. Medium plants form the body of the design, and low pots and trays edge pathways and soften corners. The containers are mixed: metal, wood, clay, even a bright painted crate, and their varied surfaces add richness without clutter. The whole setup feels like a small neighborhood of plants, each pot a house with residents that get along well together. There's a water element tucked into one corner, a shallow, repurposed sink fitted with a simple pump that pushes water up through a stone spout into a basin. It's not a showy fountain, rather, it's a casual, industrious piece that suits the patio's utilitarian heart. The sound of water is small and comforting, a rhythmic hush that makes conversations lower and longer. Bees and dragonflies come for the basin. At certain hours, they hover like tiny, bright punctuation marks. Around the water, you'll find pots of lemon balm, lavender, and rosemary, herbs chosen not only for scent and flavor but because their oils lightly perfume the air when brushed by fingers or wind. The effect is immediate. The patio becomes not just a place of sight but of scent and sound, a full-body invitation to rest. Containers are the secret to making an oasis where space is tight. They let you control growing conditions, the soil a plant sits in, how much water it gets, and where it sits to catch sun or shade. On this patio, lighter pots are set on wheeled platforms so they can be moved with the season. Move a tall tub into sun for winter warmth, or roll it into shelter for a cold snap. Shallow trays hold sedum and little stone group scenes that feel like micro gardens. Their low profiles keep sight lines open while adding texture at ground level. A few planters have built-in reservoirs, self-watering systems that make weekends easier and reduce stress about forgetting to hydrate thirsty plants. That kind of practicality means the oasis stays lush without monopolizing your time. Plant choices aim for a cool, calming palette. Broadleafed plants give the feeling of shade even when they're not huge. Figs and canna in large tubs produce strong, sculptural leaves. Ferns and hostas soften the bases. Succulents and stonecrop add a dusty, blue-green contrast. Herbs are everywhere. Chives in a slender tin by the grill. Basil in a shallow ceramic bowl near the door. Mint kept in a deep pot where it can't escape and take over. Small trees in large containers, dwarf citrus, olive, and pomegranate, add vertical height and a sense of permanence without overwhelming the space. Flowers are used sparingly, chosen for fragrance or for their ability to attract pollinators, salvias, nasturtiums, and bees-friendly salvias and lavenders that hum with activity. The overall palette is green-forward but thoughtfully punctuated with color and scent. texture plays a huge role. The rough patina of a galvanized tub sits against the smooth sheen of a glazed pot. A weathered wooden trough with visible grain contrasts with the crisp edges of concrete planters. Plants themselves offer texture: spiky yucca leaves, feathery fennel fronds, the soft fuzz of lamb's ear, the glossy waxy leaves of succulents. Each texture invites touch. You run a finger along a fern frond, feel the cool roughness of terracotta, or sense the warmth of sun-warmed metal. This tactile variety slows you down. The patio asks you to notice surfaces and edges, to engage physically with the space rather than merely see it. Layering in pots is a design move that pays off. Taller specimens are planted in heavier containers anchored toward the back or corners to form a green backdrop. Medium plants cluster in the middle zones, compact shrubs, herbs, and flowering pots, while low and trailing plants spill over the edges of tubs and boxes, softening transitions and leading the eye. In the shipping tub with the dwarf olive, thyme, and small succulents fill the base, creating a layered compositional effect that reads like a small garden in itself. This approach allows for depth even on a flat patio. Your gaze has foreground, middle ground, and background to travel through, and each layer offers different sensory experiences. Light matters, and on this patio it is managed cleverly. Shade sails and retractable awnings give relief during hot afternoons, while pergola beams hold hanging planters that create a soft canopy. On cooler mornings, the awning rolls back and the plants soak up sun, their leaves opening and warming. Solar path lights glint among pots after dusk, and a few low-voltage uplights point to a focal tub or tree, turning the patio into a twilight stage. The careful mix of shade and sun means plants can thrive in their preferred microclimates. Moreover, light is used to shape habit. The seating area gets a bit more light in the evening so meals feel cozy and inviting. The far edge of the patio is slightly shadier, a cool nook for reading or napping. Functionality is woven into aesthetics. A repurposed trough doubles as a storage bench, with a hinged lid that hides cushions, tools, and small bags of soil. A narrow metal cart carries a few pots and gardening tools and easily steers to where you need it. The grill sits near herb pots so you can pluck rosemary sprigs and run them across hot coals for a smoky flavor. Compostable scraps go into a small boxed composter tucked against the wall, breaking down into rich material for potting mixes. These practical touches make the patio feel usable. It's not a showroom but a place where life happens. Meals are cooked, small projects are done, and plants get regular attention. The design supports the way people actually live, not just how they look in photos. Sustainability is part of the plan. Rainwater from the roof is caught in barrels and used to refill reservoir-based planters. Soil mixes are amended with compost to improve water retention and feed plants slowly, reducing the need for chemical fertilizers. Native pollinator-friendly plants are mixed in with exotics to support local insects and birds, and pesticide use is replaced by companion planting. Marigolds and nasturtiums help deter pests, and physical barriers like mesh for vulnerable seedlings. Even the choice to repurpose old tubs and crates is ecological. It keeps materials out of the landfill and gives them new, useful life. These small decisions add up to a patio that breathes with the neighborhood and supports local biodiversity. Wildlife finds the patio as well. Bees are frequent visitors to the lavender and salvias. A shallow birdbath on a low pedestal becomes the neighborhood spa for small birds, sparrows, finches, the occasional hummingbird that sips in for nectar. Butterflies visit the nectar plants when they're in bloom. You'll also spot beneficial insects. Ladybugs and lacewings patrol leaves for aphids. A small log pile tucked behind a planter offers shelter for solitary bees and beetles. The presence of wildlife adds motion and sound, the soft hum of bees, the quick wing beat of a bird, that livens the space in a natural way. Seeing these visitors makes the patio feel less like an isolated deck and more like a connected piece of local habitat. Designing a patio oasis in containers allows for seasonal change. In spring, tender annuals and bulbs bring fresh color. Summer is the moment for lush foliage and herbs. Fall brings late blooming cycles and shifts in leaf color for certain trees even in containers. Winter structure comes from evergreen shrubs and the silver tone of olive leaves. Because pots can be moved, you can winter protect sensitive specimens by grouping them near the house or under cover. You can swap out summer annuals for pansies and kale in cooler months to keep the border fresh. The container approach makes the patio adaptable. What you plant in March can look completely different by September, and that variety keeps the space interesting year-round. Comfort is considered. Seating is generous and arranged to encourage conversation. A low sofa with washable cushions sits opposite a pair of armchairs, and a small coffee table holds a tray for drinks. Blankets are folded in a basket for cool evenings. Adjustable umbrellas and shade cloths let you control sun exposure, and a little hanging fan under the pergola keeps air moving on sticky days. Lighting is soft enough for lingering, solar lanterns on tables, fairy lights twined through pergola beams, and stepping stone lights that create a gentle glow without glare. These touches make the patio an extension of indoor living. You almost forget where the house ends and outside begins. Personal touches tell stories. A child's painted pot sits on the windowsill of a trough. A rusty spade leaned against a planter once belonged to an old neighbor. A ceramic rabbit peeks out from between a pair of succulents. These items make the patio feel like home. You'll find handwritten plant labels, a small stack of well-thumbed gardening books on a shelf, and a weathered pitcher reused as a watering can. These small, human details make the oasis approachable and familiar. Friends bring cuttings and add them to pots, and over time the patio becomes a collaborative, living scrapbook of relationships and seasons. Maintenance is purposeful, but never overwhelming. Grouping plants by water needs keeps care efficient. Drought-tolerant succulents stand together. Herbs with similar thirst are in neighboring pots, and thirsty foliage plants share self-watering containers. Tools are stored in a compact caddy that rolls under a bench, so you end up doing short, frequent sessions rather than long, exhausting ones. Repotting happens in stages. Every year a few tubs are refreshed. Some plants are divided, and some are moved. Pruning becomes a mindful ritual. Deadheading spent flowers is a small act that rewards you with tidiness and more blooms. The maintenance rhythm becomes part of the patio's own life, a series of manageable moments that connect you back to the space. Plant pairings are chosen to complement each other visually and functionally. In a galvanized tub, a tall, architectural dracaena might be paired with softer, trailing ivy and a carpet of thyme at its feet. In a wooden trough, ferns and hosta offer shade-loving textures, while a bright ceramic pot holds a single dramatic agave to punctuate a corner. Color is used sparingly. Bright splashes are reserved for key moments so they pop without overwhelming the soft green palette. Fragrance is often prioritized over flamboyant color because scent can anchor memory more strongly. The whiff of lemon verbena as you pass by or the night-blooming perfume of jasmine at dusk can define a place more than any bright flower. accessibility matters too. Low shelves hold commonly used pots for easy replanting, and a simple set of labeled seed packets sits in a shallow drawer. Movable stands let you adjust height for transplanting without bending too far, and pots are grouped so that watering is a single, smooth task rather than a stop-and-start ordeal. Seating is arranged so people can move through the area without stepping on pots. These small acts of thoughtfulness make the patio usable for people of different abilities and ages and encourage everyone to take part in its care.